Divine masculines, divine feminines, walk with me for a second. I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute because we've been so programmed over the years and by society to go off of this ride or die type of mentality when it comes to relationships. And for me, I've come to terms with the fact that the ride or die mentality, I feel like it's an illusion because you shouldn't have to ride or die to be with someone. At least that's my opinion. I do resonate with the ride part, but that die part, I kind of have a problem with that. Why would you have to ride or die to show somebody your loyalty? Especially if someone who's physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually abusing you. That's not logical to me. And at this point in my life, loyalty is one thing. I wholeheartedly believe in loyalty, but sacrificing myself to prove my loyalty to someone, it just doesn't resonate with me anymore. I don't have to ride or die to show my loyalty. I just have to be loyal. My loyalty will speak for itself. I don't have to prove my loyalty. My loyalty just is. You guys know that being in a low vibrational situation, it chips away at our self-esteem and it chips away at our confidence. Sometimes we soak up the dysfunctional things that's said to us. Things like, nobody's ever gonna love you the way that I do. Let's think about it. I should hope not, because the way that you love me is toxic. Other things like, nobody's gonna put up with you like I do. But if you feel you have to put up with me, that's actually an issue. Or what about trying to convince you that you're gonna be nothing without them? Well, I was something before you, and I'll be something after you. That's just the way that I see it. Divine masculines, divine feminines, we're all loving, compassionate, kind, devoted beings. Now, of course, at one point in our life, we were low vibrational. Everybody's low vibrational at some point, but we live and we learn and we do better. We consciously make that choice to live, to learn, and to do better. All of those words that people say, those are gaslighting techniques. And you can get stuck on that. People expect you to, start second guessing yourself, second guessing who you are, making you doubt yourself. They make you fear believing in yourself. It's all an illusion. But those words are spells, and if you absorb those words, you'll start to believe it. Don't allow yourself to be gaslit. Don't absorb or allow yourself to absorb words that's going to chip away at your self-esteem and your confidence. You don't deserve that. You deserve so much better. Fear makes you vulnerable, and it makes you a target for gaslighting. People can spot fear and lower self-esteem a mile away. They test you. So recognize that. And when I say they test you, for example, when you have an argument or disagreement with someone who doesn't mean you any good, it's like they test you in stages. It's like stage 1, of course, is disrespect. And when you have a disagreement or argument with somebody, it'll start with raising your voice or like cussing you out. Then it'll get to potentially putting their hands on you. A person does not have the right to raise their voice to get their point across. That's just my opinion. I've raised my voice in the past when I was operating out of my lower self, until I came to the understanding that, I can get the opposite outcome when I raise my voice. People have the right to tune you out if you're hollering at them. It's forceful. You're literally forcing somebody to take on your viewpoint. I learned I don't have the right to force my views on anyone, even if it's with good intentions. And that's the important part. Even if it's with good intentions, that still doesn't give us the right to raise our voice at people or to force our views on people. That's just my opinion though, because I feel as if, as divine feminines and divine masculines, we deserve better. We are loving beings. We operate out of love and light. And we deserve to be treated with love and with light. I learned I don't have to force my views onto anyone, because I operate on a high frequency now. Not only do I not accept anybody communicating with me by hollering at me, but I don't raise my voice or force my views on anyone anymore. That saying, you get more results with honey than vinegar or something like that. I can't remember. I think it's really true. Kindness and communicating with respect and compassion, it brings you way better results. Once a person realizes that you accept them hollering at you to force their views on you, that's when the next step happens, the disrespect. That's when the hollering, it'll be coupled up with cursing you out and calling you names and things like that. That's not love to me, that's abuse. Don't allow anybody, for any reason, to feel that they have to curse you out and call you all kinds of names and then apologize for it later. And then the next time, of course, the disrespect gets worse, and you don't deserve that. Take notice of how the disrespect gets worse every time. And the more you allow it, the worse it'll get. You don't deserve that. I feel you do not deserve that. You deserve to be handled with respect and compassion. You're a loving being, and you deserve to be treated as such, not disrespected. Don't allow anyone to normalize being disrespected, because it's not normal. We have a tendency to think that low vibrational things are normal just because that's what we're used to. But just because that's what we're used to, my opinion is that doesn't make it normal. That just means we've been in toxic situations. I don't care if you've been disrespected in your last 14 relationships. It doesn't even matter. Or your current one, actually. Put your foot down and know your worth. And understand, yes, you deserve to be handled like the loving, delicate being that you are. If the only way a person can communicate with you is harshly and disrespecting you, then you know what? Love yourself enough to find someone who will treat you with love and respect. Or just move on by yourself and love and respect yourself. I feel like the biggest illusion out here is that you need somebody to be happy. The only thing you actually need, in my experience, is Source, the Most High. The relationship you have with the Most High will be the best relationship you will ever experience. That is my personal experience. That relationship literally will never fail you. It will never break you down. It'll never deceive you. And it's actually a perfect relationship. And that's unmatched. If you accept anybody hollering at you and disrespecting you, physical or emotional abuse can come next if you allow it. Let's think about it. The very first time that somebody put their hands on you, I beg you to love yourself enough to leave that relationship. Yes, they may apologize later for it or whatever, but once they recognize that all it takes is an apology that's usually followed up with makeup sex or something, you'll then basically create a toxic situation. Because believe it or not, there are people out here that will walk out that front door if you ever put your hands on them. Not the second time, not the third time, or not once it becomes unbearable, but the first time. These individuals, they know their worth. Now, this is no slight to victims of abuse. Let me be clear. Because in most situations, and the situations do vary, but these situations are so threatening. And that's the reason why some people feel like they can't even leave. But the thing is, the abuser knows that. They rely on that. They sometimes even manipulate your situation to where you feel like you don't have any other options but to stay with them. You deserve better, divine feminine, divine masculine. And yes, divine masculines get physically abused as well. People don't like to face that fact because they figure it's a masculine, so how is it possible for a feminine to abuse them? But it does happen. Yes, it's a real thing. Just because they're masculine doesn't mean that they're exempt from being abused. Now, I am not referring to women who fight back for their own protection. That's a whole different thing. Divine masculines, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Women who follow you around the house when you're trying to walk away to avoid the situation escalating, and then someone's yanking on your clothes or throwing things at you or hitting you because you simply want to remove yourself from the situation. Sometimes things like that is done to basically make you react, so then they can kind of flip it on you and make you the responsible party for things escalating. It's almost like a setup. And just because you're a masculine does not mean you deserve that at all. You deserve better. As I said again, we all have been low vibrational at some point in our lives. You have to start at the bottom in order to raise your own vibration. You have to start at the bottom, and then you have to choose to want to raise your vibration. There are people in this world that, they're not going to treat you like that. They will respect your personal space, and they will not want a disagreement to escalate. They do exist. Don't accept abuse just to be in a relationship, because an abusive relationship is not healthy. It's not normal. And I beg you, please, guys, whoever experiences something like this, love yourself so passionately that you know that you deserve better and you seek better, even if seeking better is by yourself for a while. Now, nobody wants to be by themselves, and it may take a while sometimes to find your divine counterpart. But trust the Most High. Trust that your divine counterpart will be led to you, and don't accept anything less than that. If you're an abuser and a victim wants to move on to escape your physical, mental, or emotional abuse, you have to take a step back and allow that person to allow better for themselves. Forcing them to accept your abuse and toxic environment, I mean, that's just wrong and illogical. That just does not make any sense to me. Why would you want to force somebody to withstand your abuse, especially when you know that you are toxic and you're abusive? You know, a lot of times people who abuse us, they claim to love us, you know, but it's like, if you love someone as you probably claim to, then you would treat them with love and respect. You know, you won't get angry with them if they make the choice to like put themselves in a healthy environment, even if it's to be by themselves. Sometimes people don't even want you to get out of a relationship to be by themselves and to learn to love themselves. It's either stay within that toxic relationship or nothing at all. And if you try to leave that toxic relationship, sometimes people will go above and beyond to hurt you in several different ways, guys. That's a real thing. I speak from experience. But I'll keep stressing it. I'll keep stressing it over and over again. Please learn to love yourself. Please learn to love yourself, even if it's by yourself. You know, me personally, I've been single since my last relationship back in, I think it's like 2017. It's been so long, I don't know. I can't remember. I used that time to love myself. I used that time to show myself all of that love and compassion that I was so freely giving out and deny myself of that. I used that time to better myself, to learn how to better my toxic ways, to learn how to raise my vibration, you know, to learn how to be a better version of myself. And sometimes we get into toxic relationships because we're getting older, you know, and we don't want to be alone. But is it worth it though? Is it worth it to be in that toxic relationship just so you won't be alone? I mean, you want to live out the rest of your days in peace and harmony, not turmoil and toxicity. Remember who you are, guys, and your self-worth. Remember to be patient for that somebody that will value you and they will treat you right, because they are out there. I wholeheartedly believe that. But the thing about it is, everything happens in divine timing. But sometimes we reject that divine timing and we kind of like force things to happen on our timeline. And that's when things go wrong. I've done it myself. You know, I've gotten frustrated with being single before, and I started seeking out a mate because I was just feeling lonely at the time. And sometimes when you feel lonely at the time, you make some bad choices. Sometimes I learned that I'm just lonely at that moment. You know, I could be lonely for 2 days, and then on the third day, I'm just fine. On the third day, I have no issues at all. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of patience. And sometimes it doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes it'll take weeks, months, sometimes years. But I feel like there's a reason why the Most High makes us wait a certain amount of time, or whatever the Most High decides, because who knows, maybe your divine counterpart is working on themselves and you have to be patient while they work on themselves. And especially because sometimes being in a toxic relationship can make you toxic. I know it happened to me in the past. You know, I lost out on some really good relationships in the past with me being toxic due to toxicity that I was used to. Now again, when someone knows their worth, they don't tolerate toxicity. People know who to do that crap to. The kind, the loving, the mild-mannered people, because it's considered a weakness. And that's really unfortunate. You are beautiful souls. You're loving, you're kind, you're compassionate, you're loyal, you're high vibrational. You deserve those things in return. I can't stop saying it because that's how I truly feel. That's what you deserve. Now, you're not crazy if you love yourself. You're not crazy if you don't tolerate being mistreated. You are not crazy if you rather walk your path by yourself until your divine counterpart enters your life. You are not crazy if you choose to be celibate because you've come to understand energy exchange, and you realize that you only want to exchange that intimate energy with somebody, you know, who matches your high vibration. Someone who sees intimacy as something way more than just sex. Now, over the course of like 7 years that I've had sex twice, and I totally regret it because it was out of being familiar with that individual and the history that we had, rather than our vibrations matching. And that was the final lesson that I learned, to keep myself celibate and just to be patient. You know, I'm single and celibate, and I'm single and celibate by choice. You know, I can jump into a relationship at any time. That's the easy part. But I choose to love and value myself because I trust the Most High. And so I'm going to be patient, and I'm going to trust the Most High to deliver my divine counterpart to me that's going to treat me with love, respect, compassion, because I know I deserve that. And I'm not crazy for that. And if you trust the Most High to deliver you your divine counterpart, you're not crazy for that either. I hope this helps, even if it's just one person. I love you guys. Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, you are beautiful souls. You deserve to be happy. You deserve comfort. You deserve compassion. You deserve love and loyalty. I mean, you do operate in love and light. You deserve the best. You really do. You deserve the best. Please know that for yourself.